Today I'm trying some step-by-step tutorials I found on Pinterest. I picked them from the easiest one to the hardest one, so let's jump straight into the first one. First drawing I'm gonna do is these bubbles, so first I have to draw this circle, nothing crazy. Then I softened the edges with blur brush, which didn't work that well. Then I did all these colors around the edge, and when I went to blur them, it didn't look good. So I searched what brush to use to blend them, and I found this brush, and to be honest, it kinda worked. So I will definitely use it in future. Next, I placed this highlight, and I finished with 2 more bubbles. What surprised me, probably that these highlights make it 100% better than this is, so yeah, and accidentally I found some new brushes I will use in future, and I want to rate it how hard it was to do and how good it actually is. So hard, it was probably around maybe 2-3 out of 10, which means it wasn't hard at all, and it is looking pretty good, so I will give it 7 or 8 out of 10. Alright, time for the next one. I don't really draw eyes, especially on tablet, because I still don't fully understand how to color them, so this one is a challenge for me. And first thing I did was these eyelashes. It didn't look that good, so I started again with this rectangle, which will help me to draw the eye. When I had the shape of the eye somewhat done, I draw sclera, then the iris, and I sharpened the liner and add a few lashes. I did this pink thing, I don't know the name of it now, and a soft gradient in the iris from the dark to light. Then highlights, one big one and a couple of tiny ones, and I added this shadow under the eyelid. So yeah, what surprised me, probably the shadow under the eyelid, because it adds so much depth in it. Hardest part, not making the iris look flat. To be honest, my iris look flat, so anyway, I will rate it it was probably harder than the before, so 5 or 6 out of 10 probably, and it is looking really good. I like it so much, so maybe 9 out of 10. Yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next one. So, the tutorial literally started with step 3, so I had to improvise the whole beginning, and I started with this random curve shape and add these little bumps. Then I darkened between the layers to give depth. Honestly, at this point I thought, okay, this is definitely the boring one, and it actually was, but near the end, it suddenly started coming together, and I had a tiny moment of happiness. Anyway, I add bright edge highlights, where the Croissant catches the light, and blend shadows, so it looks baked, not plastic. Not sure I achieved that, it's somewhere in between, but I play more with colors and I made it more saturated, or I don't know, they just look better. Then I move on to these brown lines. They felt weird in some places, but at the end it looked better with them. I added these bright spots and sparkles, edges a contrast a little, and done. I expected that this will be boring, which actually was, but at the end it was a little bit better. What really surprised me was this, that you need to trust the process, because those bright lines looked terrible for a while, but ended up looking kinda good in the final. And the hardest part was probably that it took me the longest out of all of them, but I think that's not hard, it's just boring. And I will rate it 3 out of 10, it wasn't hard at all, and it is looking really good. So maybe I will give it 10 out of 10, yeah. Okay, next one. I start with the triangle shape and fill it with bright red, then I color all the basic parts and move on to texture. I had no idea how to do it, so I just started experimenting. Next I make the green light, and after looking at it, I thought, yeah, that part is kinda, I can make it better. So I experimented again, and this time I actually find one of my new favorite brushes. I added nice speckly texture on top, way better than the first attempt. It still doesn't look like the tutorial one, but honestly, that's not big deal. And the seeds looked terrible at first, like stickers, so I added some shadows, and suddenly it looked much better. Then I blend the words to rind, add a lighter edge, copy the whole drawing on the new layer, set it to multiply, and because of that the drawing looked more saturated, and I think it looked better. What I expected, that this will be the hardest drawing, maybe it was, but I don't know. What was actually hard, maybe the seeds, because of the shadows, so it looked like it's inside and not just some stickers. I will give this maybe okay, it was the harder one, so maybe 7 out of 10, and it is looking really good, so I will give it 10 out of 10. And the last one. I didn't want anything too crazy, but not something too simple, so I found something in between. First I drew the silhouette with sharp angles, then I blocked the big face planes, dark purple for the shadow side, bright violet for the lid side. I add a white trim highlight on the edge and an inner glow from the core. Already looks kinda cool. Then I add another layers with multiply mode to push some areas deeper and make it feel like it has some depth. The glowing effect looked kinda bad at first, so I changed it from pure purple to this purple blue mix, and it suddenly looked much better now. And because I wanted to try something different, I added these halftone dots. They were not in the tutorial, but why not? And some last thing to improve was these small highlights, simple background, and these white sparkles. And that's it. Sorry, I almost forgot. I will write a tutorial like 5 out of 10. I don't know, it didn't feel like it was hard, and it is looking really good, but I like the watermelon more, so I will give it like maybe 7 out of 10. That feels right. Okay, that was actually fun. If you like this video, feel free to comment. I love to read them. You can even consider subscribing to this channel. I'm trying to upload new video every week, hopefully, and that's it. So see you in the next one, and bye bye.